At the beginning, I want to take a chance to say my gratitude for the organizer, for the committee, for accepting my paper. That this our papers. It's part of my PhD dissertation that I hope will finish soon. And now, as you can see, we are moving a little bit from the cold Canada to the much hotter part of the world, that is the Negev Desert in Israel. So a little bit about background. On the map here, you can see the southern part of the Israel is called the South District. Approximately 90% of this area is actually the Negev Desert. It's like 13,000 square kilometers of just sand rocks. And whole situation here has started somewhere in the 2nd or 1st century BC, when the Nabateans has started developing their small caravanserais to control the incense road going from modern Jordan, from the Arabia to the Mediterranean. And they have started building some small structures, as I said. You have pointed them on the map. And the most impressive part of this history of this region is the Byzantine period, somewhere between the half of the 4th century, beginning of 5th century, till the beginning of 7th century AD. And one of the sites, it's Shivta or Sobata in ancient Greek texts. The name probably came from the Nabatean word. It was probably the name Shibtu or something like this. We got some information about the site in the papyrus that we found in the Negev. And whole region actually is known for the researchers from the 19th century. We've got the first travelers, researchers, we can say, who've been just visiting Holy Land in their way to the Sinai. They also visit most of the sites and describe them. Next part of the history of research is the beginning of the 30s, when there was a huge cult expedition that actually never have been published. Next part, it's after Israel get independence in the early 50s, early 60s. There was huge, let's say, it's archaeological campaign just to mostly to clean the site and to make their national park to allow tourists to visit it. And the most important part of the research program there was in early 80s. This three surnames on the top. You can see that there's the most important researchers somehow related with the site. In 2005, the site was described to the UNESCO World List. And right now there is, we can say, two small projects working in the site. One is from the Haifa, who are actually trying to also deal with the cult expedition documentation. Most of them is destroyed in the wars, but the remains of them are they're trying to publish them. As well, they are also in Haifa in the XIXth Museum. You can see now the exhibition related to the early excavation. And in 2017, I got the opportunity to start my small project in the Shivta. It was based on the board. Now you can see most of the details. There are three of us, and we decided to make both aerial and, let's call it, ground on the land survey. Earlier in the 80s, there was one aerial survey in the site conducted by Segal, and most of his theories, except of the change in methodology, also his theories are quite irrelevant. So that's why we decided to compare our data with what we've got about his work. We spent 10 days in the fields. As you can see, area of the town is approximately 9 hectares, and total area with flight above it's almost 27.5 hectares. And the final map, we've got the accuracy about 2 centimeters, so I think it's quite good for site in this size. You can see 6 flying area that we divided site to conduct our works. And something unexpected, that we've planned the works for almost half a year, and on the very first day when we arrived to the site, it was the first day also of the NATO army training in the field, because most of the Negev Desert is right now like the small army camp. So we've been flying with our small drone, DJI Phantom 3, and they've been flying and sending their rockets. Maybe not in our site, but also it was quite interesting to survive this. So here you can see the map that is one of our results, and we'll start the conclusions we've got. As most of the researchers in the area, they are mostly focusing on the so-called 3 churches. You can see marked on the map here. Most of them are just based as the basilicas in the Byzantine period. So 3 aisles, narthex, atrium, etc., etc. And the problem is that most researchers are basing on some ideal theory about how the basilica should actually look like, and that's why we got many problems with actual interpretation. So, like in the case of the South Church that is here in the site, we of course got the three aisles, but the problem is that narthex or atrium that should be in front of the most of the whole basilica plan, they are actually somewhere missing. And that's why researchers are thinking that maybe the church was built in the place a little bit later than the previous structures, and so on. In my opinion, it could be in this case, it could be some good point. The problem is also the buildings or the structures close to the church. That most of the researchers are trying to explain that there was some kind of monastery. Mostly Paul Figueras, he's seeing in every church he see the monastery, and one of his arguments is that in the inscriptions we can find name Abbas or the title Abbas, that he's trying to explain that it was the father of the father in the ecclesiastical meaning. But probably he do not consider it that actually even today, when people are just talking with priests, even in English, they are using title father to him, even they are not the monks. And also very interesting information you can find in the document that is not very popular among researchers, that implying us that close to the church there always should be some buildings for the use of bishop, for the priest. So it's not have to be a monastery actually. That could be just a normal church. Similar situation we've got with the northern part. That the structure here you can see also Paul interpret as a monastic buildings. But probably looking on the other example from another sites from the Negev, we can more clearly say that there is something like a hotel for the caravan, like the caravanserai or khan, how it's called in Arabic. Because as I say, the same structures we can see in other site, also outside of the city structures. Funny thing that in case of Maciej, one of the archaeologists say that it should be a school of the architectures, and his point is that just because he thinks it's like it stays. One of the arguments that is against the theory about the monastery in this case is the small graffiti we can find on the on the top of the second story. That right now you can see it's more clearly that it's presenting something that probably not none of the monastic fathers will ever write on the wall. And the problem with the central church you can see here, it's like again the same structures, the same story as with the two previous one. But the point is that only this one building we have no pieces of art that are somehow related with the Christian religion. No crosses, no other information that we can find in both of the northern and southern church. So in my point is maybe that also the structure here is called like the governor house. So it's maybe we can say that the so-called central church, maybe it could be not the church but somehow of civic basilica that was just related to some economical trading activity, not only the religious one. Argument for this case, we can also see that first of all there is no baptistery, that in both other churches we've got them, and also the small part here of the street is blocked from two sides to just not disturb with the somehow vehicles or horses. So probably this was mostly related to the trading, as I said, economical activities, not only not the religious one. Next part of the studies that it's most related with the Shivta. It's the economy of the city. Researchers are saying that it's mostly about the agriculture. As we can see on the map, maybe not very clearly, there are many fields that was probably related to the agricultural activity. In this case, probably they produce wine that is quite easy accessible in this area, and from some research we find that they've been producing approximately 3 million liters of wine per year. And in our research we also find that this small structure here is actually another winery, so we can probably estimate that this they've got power to do even like almost 4.5 liters of wine per year. And there are archaeologists who are saying that the city was mostly about the agriculture, not involved in the trading. So if there was like 4.5 million liters of wine per year, and let's say that only 1,000 people are living in the city, because it's also some research there's estimating the population of the site is from like 500 persons to 9,000. So if we even say that okay, there was like, as I said, 1,000, maybe 1,500 person in the of the whole population, so we got like 3,000 liters per year per person to drink of wine. So it's, I think, even too much for archaeologists to drink more than 10 liters of wine per day, especially when we add to this also children and so on, not only drinkers. And also, if we look on the map of the region, actually in the larger scale, we can see that it's actually perfectly fit to the trading area. So the conclusions of the recent conclusions about the not trading activities in the city, in my opinion, it should be also rejected. The history about the development of the city is mostly based on the previous area survey from the 80s from Arthur Segal, as I said before, who think this is his map, and he assumed that because they found some of the earliest pottery shards in the region somewhere outside of the city, but in the southeastern part of the city. He assumed that city has started developing from this direction to the north. And he also said that there is no plan in this developing. In my opinion, he also this theory also should be rejected from because of few things. First of all, we can see some places like piazzas in the city that were actually started when they started new district, new part of the development. They started building them from the piazza, and then they are adding some structures to it. The argument that the streets are quite not narrow, say, it's basically because if we compare it with the so-called hypodamic plan of the city, like Pergamon or at the other classical sites, we can say that it's look quite different. But we also have to consider that there is different climate in this region than in Greece or somewhere else. So most of the streets are actually planned this way to block wind and to block the heat from the desert. And because of this, we can say that maybe this plan is not very accurate, not very lovely as we want to see it. But in this case, it's more, or it's looked like it was planned to do in this direction. Also, we can see that most of the economical, like the trading buildings that I've displayed like a few minutes ago, they are mostly set in the northern part of the city. So we can see that there was also some part of the planning in this area as well. And in my opinion, it's more probably that the city has started developing from the center and just small districts or parts has been added with the time. Unfortunately, until there will be no proper excavation in the field, we will never be able to say it, because from the Haifa team, I got the information that one building, for example, was stopped occupation in the beginning of 6th century. The big building close to it, like just next to one, was still continued even in the Arab period, so in the beginning of 8th century, and they've used the previous one as the trash center. So they're just throwing their trashes to the neighbors that they are not still living there. So actually, until there will be no proper excavation in the field, will not be able to say anything that will be reliable about the city development in this case. So getting to conclusions, as I said, we can probably say that there are only 2 churches, not 3 as most of the researchers are saying. One of them probably was just the civic basilica for the economical purposes. Probably no monastery was dealing in the city. Also, there is a theory about the mosque built in the east church, in South Church. There was the very fancy idea about the peaceful cohabitance between both Christian and Muslims. But also looked at the structure that they are saying that it's mosque. It was built actually in the same period when the church was built. Walls are just perfectly sticking. So probably this was somehow of the ecclesiastical structures, not something later. As I said, there was at least 2, maybe even 3 khans in the northern part of the city. So it's getting to the conclusion that city was not only the economy of the city was not only based on the agriculture but also on the trade. And it was one of the communication nodes in the region, going from Mediterranean to east, and from Egypt to Palestine to Jerusalem. And the last part, as I said, the so-called desert planning. That was, the city was actually planned in the model that was fitting to the local climate, to the local condition, that was somehow different from all we know from the Mediterranean. And thank you for your attention. If you got any question, I hope I will be able to answer them.